Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Renee Box Young, a platform where we simply discuss, critique, and analyze, simply talk about the sport of boxing in a level-headed, mature, coherent fashion. Definitely subscribers since day one, recent subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much, for tuning in to the Flash Lives. Playback family, salute, commenting in the comment sections of the videos, and in the premieres of my videos also. Thank you so much for tuning in real time and just chatting away there with me. Definitely, collaborative, community where we share our opinions and perspectives concerning the sport of boxing. Definitely, we don't complicate life here. Express your opinion, definitely, because we love the sport of boxing. It's as simple as that. If you're a new listener, go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I, push content such as this. And definitely, I just appreciate you all. Thanks so much. I want to talk about, Daniel Jacobs and Ryder, that fight, kind of like a post-fight reaction, kind of like I did last week. I did one concerning Keith Thurman and Mario Barrios, that fight, and just gave my, kind of like a post-fight reaction deal and where I think these fighters are at in their careers now. And I kind of want to do that with Daniel Jacobs. When this fight was, first and foremost, when this fight was announced, I wasn't too excited about it, honestly. I'm just going to be, 100 on it because, there are several fighters, man. We're just seeing so many things, ladies and gentlemen. We're at a time where we're seeing fighters, it seems like they're on their way out now. You know what I'm saying? I think Daniel Jacobs is one of them. I definitely think he's one of them amongst other names. I would say one of them I just talked about last week, Keith Thurman. Looks like he's almost on his way out of the sport, definitely. And if they're not, well, I think that their performances, they're not going to be as before. They're not going to be as before. Now, the first thing here, man, I want to just something that really stuck out to me. We got to respect, man, this fight between these two fighters. Warriors, as I always respect all fighters, man. I definitely do. Every fighter in the ring that goes in that ring, man, definitely I respect what they do. And what stuck out to me, man, when this was announced, some time ago, this fight between Ryder and Daniel Jacobs. One is, as I always mention, man, I got, 100, man, Daniel Jacobs. I honestly haven't followed Ryder's career at all, really, not much. I know that, Caleb Smith, that fight that he had with Caleb Smith, Ryder versus Smith, that was some time before Canelo versus Caleb Smith fight, if I remember correctly. But, Ryder, from what I've seen, the little I've seen from him before this Daniel Jacobs fight, he's one of those inside rugged fighters, man. There's just some go-at-you fighters who don't respect you. He's just going to go in there and, wail at you, just get at you, go to the body, clinch up, dirty stuff, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of what Ryder is, that's what he brings in the ring, kind of like a Porter style, I mean, Porter, now I've said it before many times, man, that I respect how Porter to a certain degree has cleaned up his game, well, he's retired now, but when he fought Danny Garcia, and I think it was Ugas also got kind of cleaner in his game, in his performance in the ring, not too, dirty, you know what I mean? I've seen, Porter kind of clean up, but, it's just a general, analysis concerning how, Ryder, his style, just him go at you guys and just gonna, man, throw the blows, everywhere, anywhere he can, and clinch and just, rough you up, man. That's how Ryder, from what I see, fights. And that's definitely how he performed against Daniel Jacobs. That's definitely how he performed against Daniel Jacobs. And another thing that stuck out to me is that, just to, that point on Ryder, I really haven't followed his career, you know what I'm saying? But, with Daniel Jacobs I have, okay? Daniel Jacobs I have. And one thing that stuck out to me was that, Daniel Jacobs, man, he went to the UK, to fight. We got to respect fighters who do that, you know what I'm saying? They go to another country, man, across the pond, whatever they call it, man, other side of the world, to fight and to, perform in the ring and, give a great show. I got to respect that, definitely, and I definitely respect that in Daniel Jacobs. He got heart, man. He definitely does. He has showed it in his career also. Fought Triple G, fought Canelo. I mean, he's all heart. Daniel Jacobs is all heart. I would have loved to seen years ago, plural, which I think it sucks it didn't happen, but it is what it is. That's boxing sometimes. But Daniel Jacobs versus Jamal Charlo, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, that's when that whole infamous, I guess we can say, where Daniel Jacobs met up with Charlo backstage, wherever the heck they were, I don't know, in some arena or something, and then that famous I'm touching M's, Daniel Jacobs saying to Jamal Charlo. Jamal Charlo seemed to kind of, I don't know, man, he seemed kind of calm in that, encounter. I would have loved to see that fight, but woulda, coulda, shoulda, whatever, didn't happen. But I mean, generally speaking, man, Daniel Jacobs when he fought, Gabe Rosado, also, pretty nice performances. That's something that has stuck out to me, with Daniel Jacobs going to the UK, and generally speaking in Daniel Jacobs' career, just, pretty good career, and I got nothing to take away from that, I think it was a slim loss against Triple G, and when you go back, a couple years when he fought Triple G, that was a slim loss. I think a lot of people actually had, Daniel Jacobs winning, and it's funny because it's kind of funny and ironic, I guess we can say, him when he fought, when Daniel Jacobs fought Gabe Rosado, that also seemed like a controversial win, I guess, right? The referee actually, if I'm not mistaken, rose Gabe Rosado's hand as if he were the winner, but in actuality he wasn't. So, I think Gabe Rosado kind of edged it out in that fight, but Daniel Jacobs put on a good performance, against Gabe Rosado, and for for Daniel Jacobs to go to the UK shows a lot of heart, man. It reminds me of a couple recent fights and a rematch with Lada versus Warrington. Lada, if I'm not mistaken, he traveled from Mexico to the UK twice to fight Warrington. It's just not the same. You already know. You already know, ladies and gentlemen. Home field advantage, I guess they say in other sports. But for somebody to go to another country and fight a fighter from their hometown or home country, whatever, it's not easy to do that. So Daniel Jacobs, he has all heart, and I respect these guys, man, especially that go to other countries and travel and fight in someone else's backyard. That's what Tyson Fury did with Wilder, what I'm saying? Billy Joe Saunders with Canelo, etc., etc. They're like Spence versus Brook. I mean, it's just awesome to see that. I just, something about that really catches my attention, and that really caught my attention concerning this fight with Jacobs and Ryder, even though I really wasn't interested in the fight. Why? Here's one of the reasons why. It's because I was alluding to that earlier, that, Jacobs has been out the ring a minute, man, and I got to say this, man. I don't know if I'm, a few out there that say this, or I don't know, but, I'm gonna speak it out. I got to speak out on it when it comes to that. I'm a fan of the sport, I like to see fighters active, and that's the best way to do it. That's the best way to do it, is for you to be active, not just for prospects, whatever they call them, contenders, that are climbing up the ladder, not just for them to be active, but generally speaking, man, the more that you are active, the better it is for fighters. They're more crisp, right, sharper. They're ready, most of the time when they're constantly active. It is what it is, man. And it's going to show when you're not active, man. I said that in the last fight, Keith Thurman and Barrios. You can tell, man, that ring rust is no joke, that layoff. And another thing here is father time, and I think that's exactly what's going on with Daniel Jacobs, man. I mean, that fight, first few rounds, I guess we can say that, Daniel Jacobs was doing okay. And then, we just started gassing out, man. I mean, it's the same thing we see over and over with these guys, ladies and gentlemen. You tell me. I mean, we're just seeing it over and over. We're seeing it, a repetitive thing with these fighters. They stay out the ring for like a year and a half. If I'm not mistaken, Daniel Jacobs' last fight, as I referenced earlier, was against Gabe Rosado. What was that? At the end of 2020. At least a solid year out the ring. I mean, that's a while. That's a while. If you just talk about 7 months out the ring is a while, that's a while. Now you're talking about at least a year, and it can, you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, you can tell, it showed in Daniel Jacobs' performance, and just that fight in general, man. Look at all the clinches. I mean, when you compare this, when we're talking about recent fights, you compare this with, Keith Thurman and Barrios, ladies and gentlemen, I don't even think there was a clinch in that fight. Beautiful, clean fight, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful, clean fight between Keith Thurman and Barrios. And I think it's wonderful to see fights, man. I know there's a thing here that a lot of people say that, or I guess it's, thought of the concept of a elite, that's a vet move, clinching up. But when you do that so many times, it's freaking frustrating to watch, ladies. This reminds me of Chris Eubank Jr. when he fought Billy Joe Saunders. Remember that? Go back to that fight. There were so many clinches in that fight. It's just frustrating to watch, man. Especially with Ryder style, and all these clinches we saw all night long. It was really frustrating to watch. I was about to change the channel, man. I was going to change what I was watching. Just like five rounds in, I was thinking that's just this whole fight's going to be like this, If I'm not mistaken, Daniel Jacobs got hurt. Ryder was going in there, just roughing him up, and Daniel Jacobs was also, It was just, the rabbit shots while they were clinching, just dirty fighting, ladies and gentlemen. And Daniel Jacobs, he started getting gassed out towards the last half of the fight, and this is Father Time. You just can't play with it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be playing with Father Time, taking these long layoffs. You know what I'm saying? Frustrating fight to watch, man. Just I'm just giving my humble opinion, frustrating fight to watch. Now, I don't know, a lot of people saying that Daniel Jacobs got robbed. I don't really think it matters, man. I don't really think it matters. Why? Okay, why do I think it really doesn't matter? I mean, at the point that Daniel Jacobs is in his career right now, he's at the end, man. He's at the end. You think that he can compete with the top right now in that condition with that type of performance this kind of reminds me of Keith Thurman, what I was saying last week. There's a similarity here, ladies and gentlemen, because it seems like they're kind of similar, not in styles, of course not the way they fight, no, but the time frame in which they're fighting right now and coming from layoffs and the age that they are in right now. Father Time's knocking on Daniel Jacobs' door, ladies and gentlemen. That's my. If you think differently, go ahead and type there. It's all good. You have a different opinion, that's fine. If he compete? Is he going to have a rematch with Triple G? I don't really care about that, because they're both out of it. It would be interesting to watch, maybe, but Triple G, I've been saying it for a minute. I'm really not too interested in watching Triple G anymore fight, because same with him, man. We're seeing changes, ladies and gentlemen. It's interesting because we're seeing transitions in the sport in several divisions where you have them big names, that have great careers. They're going towards the end of the career. They're at the tail end of their careers now, and we're seeing transitions. We're seeing prospects, contenders, or whatever you want to call them. They're coming up, and they're going to be the new champ soon. And it's interesting. We are living, ladies and gentlemen, in a very interesting time in the sport, and just enjoy it. Let's just enjoy it. The same thing happens in every generation, ladies and gentlemen, in every era. Every 30, 20 years, you see how fighters evolve and change, and then they leave, the sport. The new guys come in, the new female queens come in the sport and just take over. That's exactly what's going on. Daniel Jacobs is one of them, ladies and gentlemen. He's one of them, you know what I'm saying? And I really don't, whether it were a robbery, I really don't know, man. I'm not too interested in, if it was a robbery or not. I don't think it was a robbery because, Daniel Jacobs' performance, man, it wasn't what it was before, ladies and gentlemen. The fast combos, those flurries, he did some nice shoe shine combos on the inside against Ryder, but it's not like before. And like I said last week about Keith Thurman, this is not the same Daniel Jacobs anymore, ladies and gentlemen. I think the fight that we saw, we're talking about a year's span here. And when Father Time comes knocking on your door, 1 year can change it all, ladies and gentlemen. Especially when you're not fighting in a year. That fight that Daniel Jacobs, that performance that Daniel Jacobs had against Gabe Rosado, it seemed like that was another Daniel Jacobs, ladies and gentlemen. Very sound, very technical, using his footwork, beautiful defense, right timing, distance. I mean, it was just beautiful, beautiful. A lot of people praised that fight. A lot of people applauded Gabe Rosado and Daniel Jacobs in that fight, ladies and gentlemen. I kind of think that Gabe Rosado edged it out, but close fight and wonderful performance, clean fight by both. This was just totally different. And I know styles make fights. That has a lot to do with this too. The way that Daniel Jacobs performed against Ryder. But watch this. The experience that Daniel Jacobs has, he's a vet in the game, ladies and gentlemen. He's a vet in the sport. He should have known how to fight Ryder, keeping the distance, not, going toe-to-toe with the guy. Because when you do that, Ryder's just going to be just sloppy and just, go in and tackle you and whatever. Just clinch and throw rabbit punches while he's headlocking you. Whatever he did, man, Daniel Jacobs should have, with his veteran experience, with his, expertise in the sport, in the ring, his performances and tools that he has, he could have done a lot better, in my humble opinion. That's just my humble opinion, man, on this. And you actually think there, if I'm not mistaken, in one of the, I really didn't follow the Daniel Jacobs and Ryder, press conferences and things like I said, wasn't too interested in it, but I watched it because I'm a sucker for the sport. I watched a little bit on the undercard also. Ammo Williams, man, great performance there, knockout. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful stuff by Ammo Williams. I pushed a couple videos on him. Watch out for that guy, man. Coming out of Texas, if I'm not mistaken, man. That kid's no joke, man. I like him. I like his skills. But I watched some of those fights in the undercard, but Daniel Jacobs and Ryder, of course I watched it but I wasn't, during the fight, I was like, man, like I said, round 5, round 6, round 5 or 6, I kind of lost my interest, man. But I kept watching, on and off, and I just wasn't really too impressed in this performance, ladies and gentlemen, by either of them, by either of them. Because Ryder, man, that style is just kind of, it just doesn't intrigue me too much. That's just me, though. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? If you have a different opinion, if you say, you know what, I love Ryder's style, that's amazing. That's great for you. You know what I'm saying? That's all good. That's what, makes the community in the sport. You know what I'm saying? That we all have differing opinions and different interests when it comes to fighters and approaches and how people fight. A lot of people, for example, love the Leo Santa Cruz style. They love that. They love that toe-to-toe stuff and, just lack of defense, a Jaime Munguia style, you know what I'm saying? Just lack of whatever you want to call it, Mexican style, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. But, a lot of people like that style. I don't know, the different strokes for different folks, I guess they say, right? But for me, man, very frustrating fight. Kind of reminded me, man, and I was kind of reminded of a flashback of that Billy Joe Saunders and Chris Eubank Jr. fight. That deserves a rematch. That's a decent fight, man. Chris Eubank Jr. and Billy Joe Saunders, if they rematch, I think it would be a lot better, But it was just horrible, the first fight, But anyways, it kind of reminded me of that, man. Daniel Jacobs and Ryder. Now, this is the thing. What's next for Daniel Jacobs, man? I think this is almost the, now I was going to say earlier, in the lead up to this whole, Jacobs and Ryder fight, I think in one of the interviews, amongst all these interviews, I think I saw a headline, that said something like Daniel Jacobs, that he wants to have something, something along the lines that he welcomes a Canelo rematch. That's laughable. That's just laughable, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, based off of this performance and Daniel Jacobs coming off this long layoff, 1 year, and Father Time knocking on his door, I think that's just laughable at this point. I think that's just laughable at this point. You know what I think? Daniel Jacobs, 168, if I remember correctly, Ryder and Jacobs fought at 168. Benavidez, go for him, man. Why Benavidez go for him? I mean, that's just how fighters do it. You know what I'm saying? The teams, that's how they strategize. That's how promoters, organize fights sometimes. Like, if, for example, for Benavidez, linking him up with the name of Daniel Jacobs, not like it would be an interesting fight. I would like to see it, but but it's for the namesake. It's for the namesake. For example, like with Triple G, a lot of people calling out Triple G because of his name. It's not necessarily like, oh, who will win? Yes, to a certain degree, Triple G, yeah, he still got it and stuff, but when you talk about, that's what I'm getting at. Canelo versus Triple G. I mean, I think it's obvious who's going to win in that fight. Yes, I know anything can happen. Triple G still has the power, blah, blah, blah. But, you just put all the thing, like I said, this is a coherent, this is a logical breakdown and perspective on this. Like, if you put Triple G in there with Canelo right now and the point of their careers at this point right now, this year, I think Triple G gets knocked out, man. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people talk about Triple G and fighters more than anything. Chris Eubank Jr., you know what I'm saying? Other names out there are calling out Triple G, whoever they are. Andre, Charlo. It's like, come on now. You know what I'm saying? What are you guys talking about Triple G still? He's towards the tail end of his career. I've been saying it for so long, because I see it, and I know, and I understand. That's why I'm saying this, because I understand that while they're calling Triple G out, because of the name. It's the name that he carries, the rep that he carries, and it would look good on his resume, on their resumes. You know what I'm saying? So same thing with Benavidez. Put Benavidez in there with Daniel Jacobs. That would be nice for Benavidez' resume. That would be pretty nice for Benavidez' resume. You know what I'm saying? But what's next for Daniel Jacobs? I don't know. The reason why I mention this is because maybe, Berlanga. Maybe, because I don't see my point in this with Daniel Jacobs. I don't see him. He just fought Gabriel Rosado before this, right? Not just, but you know what I mean. Last fight before that. Before the Ryder fight. I mean, Dan, all due respect, man, and I say it's all due respect, Gabriel Rosado's not top tier. He's not top tier in the division. Go to the rankings. If I'm mistaken, he's down there. He's down there. Maybe around the 15-ish, top 10-ish. I don't think he's above top 10, though, in Gabriel Rosado. So that's what I'm trying to say here. That's what I'm trying to say, that, just to get a barometer here, that I don't think he has a chance of beating these top guys at 168. I don't, and it's interesting how it's a similarity between this and the last assessment I gave of Keith Thurman. Kind of similar. So Daniel Jacobs, man, I wish the best for him. Ryder, we'll see what's next for him, but I don't even see Ryder either being a champ at 168. I don't see him being a champ against these names up there. Nah, he'll probably give him a hard time. Give him a hard time, but because just look how he fights. A lot of clinching and just not too much boxing, you know what I'm saying? But whatever it is, that's his style, okay? So Yeah, man. Do you guys think that Daniel Jacobs can really compete with the top and have a chance of beating them? Compete, of course. Any fighter can compete in that ring. You know, they all compete. They fight. So, but like a chance of winning, man, he has a chance just like anybody else. But I don't know, man. I think that Daniel Jacobs is towards the end. You know, it seems like I'm repeating myself, like I was talking about Keith Thurman. You know, that's just me though. I don't see the speed there anymore. I don't see that. You know, that you know him keeping the distance anymore as he did before. You know, in certain fights, using the feet, the footwork, the you know, the being sharp in his executions and his combos. I don't see that anymore in Dan Jacobs, man. I think it's kind of sad. But hey, he had a great career. He had a great, and I'm talking about like as if he retired now, you know. But yeah, I mean, you think of the names. You think of the names at 168, the top names. Maybe Durrell. That would be a nice fight, you know. Jacobs and Durrell. That would be an interesting fight, you know. Maybe Berlanga, you know, Berlanga, and I know, you know, go to the ranking. If I'm mistaken, Berlanga, he's higher than Daniel Jacobs in some of the rankings. So, you know, I'm thinking that area, you know, Daniel Jacobs should be fighting next. But, you know, and like I said, man, he talked about, if I'm mistaken, you know, a possible rematch. You know, I don't think it's going to happen, but, you know, him mentioning Canelo, everyone's freaking dreaming of Canelo nowadays, but, you know, these fighters, but, yeah, I get it, the check, blah, 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 but, you know, it's laughable, man. You know, Canelo right now is in his prime, but we don't know how long that prime's going to last for Canelo either, you know what I'm saying? But he's still young, you know what I'm saying? He's definitely in his prime still, and, yeah, man, what do you guys think, man? That's just my assessment overall concerning, you know, this fight and just generally what's next for, you know, Daniel Jacobs. I don't know. Ryder, who knows? I mean, he got the win, but, you know, I don't think he's going to be champ anytime soon at 168 as far as Ryder. You know, it's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just that kind of tier fighters. You know what I'm saying? But you guys think he can, you know, Daniel Jacobs has a chance in the future, you know, making a championship shot, maybe making a championship shot, but getting a belt, I don't know. I really don't think so, man. So, hey, Renee Boxing, I appreciate each and every one of you. Go ahead and comment in the comment section, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the premiere. Go ahead and like and share it up, man. We're growing bit by bit, stone by stone, brick by brick, step by step, definitely. And I appreciate you. Once again, if you love the sport of boxing, this is the place for you, where you're open to, you know, express your opinion in a coherent fashion. Definitely. We just love the sport of boxing. We don't do drama here. You know, we just love it. You know, we just chop it up in a mature fashion. This is a platform for you. Hit the notification bell. Definitely subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you. Renee Box Young. Peace out. Stay safe.